Hi, crafters and people and makers and YouTubers. This is a video of my craft room space. It's not really a room, it's a space. And um, I need to redo it to come up with better space because I barely have any room to work on anything. So my craft space is underneath my son's loft bed in our bedroom, and I've got two desks put together and then these shelves here on the side, and basically I have to try and fit all my supplies and everything for journaling, making journals, quilting, crocheting, cross stitch, art, everything that I have. Well, not everything that I have because it doesn't all fit in the house, but I'm trying to make this space better um, organized and set up so I have room to work. Um, yeah, so I mean, this is a look at the before, all my stuff, and it's pretty crowded right now. On the back desk, which is part of the loft bed, I've got cubicle shelves going the full length of the bed, and they're stuffed with anything from my journal making supplies to my quilting supplies and sewing and cross stitching and excuse me, all sorts of stuff. And the plan is to try and organize it so A, it looks better, B, I can find things easier, and C, it'll be a space that I actually want to be in, because at this point, the way it is here, I have so little room to work that I just really have no desire to be in here. I was working out in the living room for a while, and you know, we live in a very small house right now. We're building a house on our land, or we're going to be, and we're temporarily living in the mobile home. And there were 6 of us when we moved here, living in this teeny tiny mobile home, and going from a 2,500 square foot house to a 1,000 square foot mobile home. We had to leave half of our stuff in the storage locker because it doesn't fit. So you can imagine, I used to have a huge craft room, and a lot of my stuff isn't even in here. We have a 1968 Winnebago in the driveway, and right now that's where most of my fabric and a lot of my craft supplies are because there's just no room to bring it in the house. So, I mean, you can see my attempts at organizing, and like I said, originally I was working out in the living room, and the brown cubicle shelves that are on the other side of the bed were originally out in the living room, and my stuff just took over the space. The living room's small, our dining room table takes over half of it, and my stuff was everywhere, and people couldn't eat at the table, and it was just getting ridiculous. So I brought everything back into the bedroom, and I'm trying to make it work. So I hope uh, you'll enjoy watching my change. Now this is my fabric. This isn't really part of my craft space that I'm working on, but it's going to be a future project to organize this as well. So I just wanted to give you an idea how much my stuff is taking up our bedroom. And we're also sharing a room with our son. He's 11, he's autistic, and it's just better for him to be near us because the other bedrooms are way on the other side of the trailer, and we have to keep an eye on him. So it was just better that he was in this room. It was big enough for our bed, big enough for his bed. So we're making it work. It's temporary until we get our new house built. So, you know, it's all working, and we've got our two sons are down at the other end. Yeah, it's just this is a very small place. We're used to having a lot more space. So here it is. This is the before. This is all my stuff before I started moving it around. And well, let's get working. I'm gonna start pulling stuff out and rearranging things. So
What?
come along with me.
Here's where we are so far. Everything's a mess. Good thing I had to wash the bedding today. Perfect timing. Gotta figure out where this is gonna go. Yeah, it's probably gonna go right here. And my feather tree is gonna have to go somewhere else. But that's everything that was in this part of the cubicle shelves. And then that's the other stuff there. And that's Loki, who thinks he's now got a new perch, but what he doesn't know is that'll be storage too. So, hubby just fastened the shelves together so they won't fall over, because, I mean, this is Seamus's bed up here. So, but look at all that space, and my paper, gigantic paper thing fits perfectly. And I will come back when it's done. What a mess. Oh. Yeah, my room's kind of a mess right now too. But we'll get it all cleaned up and looking nice. Next, after I'm done fixing this area, I tackle that. Da da da! Hi, crafty peeps, here's the after. Now, this is my bedroom. And there's my craft space. It is underneath my son's loft bed. Now, for those of you wondering why my son's bed is in our bedroom, we're temporarily living in a mobile home while we build our forever home, and we had 6 people crammed in here, and there just wasn't an extra room for our youngest, so, and he's autistic anyway, so it's kind of better that he's near us. All the other bedrooms are at the other side of the house. So for now, he's bunking with us until he gets his own room at the new place. Anyway, I digress. Here's the tour. Now this hasn't changed. This is my pegboard with stickers, stencils, rulers, die cuts, anything that could be hung up, I hung it up just to save space. I just got stuff for projects coming up, but yeah, that's real handy, and it hides right behind the door, so it's not in the way, and I could conceivably put a whole lot more on here. Alright, moving over to under the bed. As you can see, my paper storage box thing fit perfectly, because here's the desk that came as part of the bed, and it goes the full length of the bed. So here's all my paper storage, and I mean, I've got other stuff. I've got paper, cardstock, heavy cardboard. I've got ephemera for specific projects I'm working on. I've got droppers for my India inks, and Got a whole nice pile of recently coffee tea dyed paper. So I'm all set to make a few journals. Up on top, a lot of times when I'm doing projects, I'll keep what I'm using for that project in a basket. Now, I haven't done any sewing in a while, but these are like pieces of fabric and stuff that I pulled out for things I wanted to make and haven't gotten to yet, or scraps left over from other projects that I can use. I mean, there's even granny squares in here. And then that was a yarn holder that hubby made for me. See, it's on a base, and so I could sit in the couch and crochet without my yarn balls getting away from me. And then over here, it's just a basket of yarn. I guess there's some fabric in there too, but it's mostly yarn. Okay, moving down. I'm trying to go slow. I had to reshoot my video because the first one was so shaky I thought I'd make everybody puke. This, let me get these out of here. If you go on YouTube to a site called Coupon to Provide, she has tons of tutorials on how to make things and just everything. I've been like watching her tutorials, and she's the one who got me motivated to organize, and I've been working on my kitchen and then on my craft room. So anyway, she had a tutorial to make this turnstile storage box, and the interesting thing about it is that it's 2 pie pans or cake pans, and then you can see there's marbles in there, and they just fit on top of each other, and it spins just like a Lazy Susan, which is good because I could not find any Lazy Susans anywhere. But in here I've got my inks. I don't have a whole lot. I've got my distress inks and my permanent inks, and then I've got my replaceable pads, and back there I've got a bunch of smaller inks from Michaels back there. But yeah, I keep that stuff in there, and then up here I have my date stamps and letter stamps. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time getting this thing to focus. That was another problem with my past video, and I changed the settings and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. But yeah, I mean, I have just stickers and notepads and envelopes and stickers and stuff in here. It's my quilting ruler. So yeah, I mean, I made this so I can store my double-sided tapes on here. I used the sequin. Get it on Amazon. And this isn't done yet. I still have, like, I want to glue, like, one of those large post-it pockets here and just decorate it some more. But yeah, I really like it. I mean, it's kind of cool. And then, you know, if I want to go work out in the living room, I could just pick it up and put it on my cart or whatever. Okay, moving on. Down here is where my sewing machine is when it's not being used. And this picnic basket, I use that for crochet projects, so I can like just throw all my yarn in there and whatever I'm working on and my hooks and take it outside if I want to sit outside. And no, I don't keep cereal in my room. I know you see boxes everywhere, but I use those for journals. Okay, here is my Raskog cart. It hasn't changed a whole lot from before. I moved all my markers and colored pencils on it. And then Sorry, I'm trying to get this to focus better. And it's, well, I don't have my glasses on either, so it could be perfectly fine. Yeah, it is. Never mind. Alright, so there's my paintbrushes, my colored pencils, my regular pencils, and all my different markers. And on the second shelf, I have Mod Podge and glues, and more Mod Podge, my We Are Memory Keepers punch board, and then down here I've got paints, all my different paints, watercolors and stuff. Down here, those are my India dye sprays that I've made, and then matte gel, and then turning it around, I've got my wooden stamps in here, and then those are all my India inks in there. And then this is a 6-pack container, and I keep a lot of my glues and gessos and stuff in here. So that's my Raskog. And I found these baskets at Dollar General for $2 a piece. And I've seen other people have baskets. Now, I don't like this hooky thing because they fly all over the place. But if I want to keep them from flying, I just turn them around and drop it all over the floor. Anyway, yeah, I just fling them around and they'll stay like that. Yay. Okay, moving on. This is still my bin that I keep. This is like 2% of my yarn. But a lot of this is cotton yarns, because I used to make mandalas and sell them on my Etsy page or shop. Of course, none of these are cotton here. But, so I would keep all my cottons in here, because I would try to make my mandalas out of cotton. So this is a lot of the sugar and cream yarns and stuff. But yeah, that's a Etsy project yarn. Next to it, let's see if I can pull this out. Oh, not without knocking everything over. Okay, well, this is an old magazine stand that my husband, the quintessential dumpster diver, found when he was working. He would always be working at malls and shopping centers because he was HVAC. He's always going up on the roofs. So he would see stuff in dumpsters and pick them up and see if I wanted to utilize them in the house or in my craft room or whatever. So this has moved with us like 4 times. And it's usually up on the wall, but I don't have much wall space here. So right now it's just sitting there, and it's got a lot of my quilting rulers and stencils and stuff in it. So that's that. Okay, here's a look at the front of the paper. This is actually, let's see if I can pull it out. These is all jewelry that I have found thrifting that, you know, I want to take apart and make into charms for journals and stuff. I found some pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty excited. Those are just, and I mean, look at this stuff. Isn't that cool? I even found a little charm bracelet with quilt blocks on it. Isn't that cute? Is it not focusing? No, anyway. So, yeah, this is where I keep all my jewelry stuff, my junk jewelry that I plan on making into charms. I mean, gosh, look at these. Some of these thrift stores, local artisans sell their jewelry and stuff. So I mean, look at those earrings. Those would be perfect on a charm on the side of a journal or something, don't you think? Cute. And then just a box of buttons. It's a lot of, I've just had a lot of really good luck finding some cool stuff. Oh, these I got on Amazon. Is it gonna... Okay, so yeah, that's what that is. And truth be told, this thing, it's really deep. It goes back 14 inches, so it's like 12 by 14. And it started collapsing in the middle. So I keep this in here, even though it's not paper, to kind of keep it from collapsing. Okay. Up here in these plastic containers, this one has napkins for decoupaging, paper bags, doilies, all sorts of fun stuff that I've been collecting. And down here is ephemera that I've collected or printed and cut out and stuff. Okay. Down here. Now I will put in the comments below the video where I found tutorials for everything. But this was another tutorial I found on YouTube for a glue gun holder. Now the original tutorial only had one cup, and this one keeps coming up. I have to re-glue it. But since I had two different size glue guns that I could possibly use at the same time, I put 2 cups in, and then a container to hold my glue sticks. Now I got all of these at the Dollar Tree. These little cups came in a 4-pack for $1. This cutting board, or whatever it is, was $1. And this container here was $1. So the whole project cost me $3 plus glue. Now this, another thrifty find, is a condiment container. And it even has the little condiment spreader thingies, but I took it, and these are all my tools that I use most often. And then I took one of the glass things out to put my We Are Memory Keepers, whatever the heck this is, the heat score thing, score buddy, I don't know. But I put it in a can, so if like I'm using it and it's on, the heat won't mess up anything. But yeah, that was a $1.50 thrift find. And then just, that's one of my long yarn holders for the sewing machine, but I like to keep my pearl cotton on there for when I'm making journals and stuff. Now this desk, hubby and I got this at Habitat for Humanity for 20 bucks. Let me stand back a little bit so you can see it. It's got a drawer, which is stuffed full. This is all my sewing stuff, and when I make fedoras, I use this to hammer my grommets on. This is my sewing machine stuff. Yeah, so it's got that drawer, and then underneath it's got a shelf where I can store a lot of stuff. And I do. But this was a computer desk, and it had the regular keyboard tray here. Hubby took the keyboard tray out and cut a hole in it to put my insert for my sewing machine. So when I sew, because I do quilting and I do free motion quilting, so I like to have my sewing machine even with the table. It just makes it a lot easier. So when I'm ready to sew, I can just pop my machine in here, and then when I'm not sewing, it's extra space to craft on. But anyway, back here, this is just a container with stuff that I'm using for a current project, stamps and papers and stuff. And my wipes. I have a box of paper clips and binder clips. This was another craft find. I think it was $2. And I keep stuff for making journals and my cutters for my paper cutter. I've got, what do you call those? Not grommets, eyelets. And that's for making fedoras. Just stuff for charms, for journals. These are corner edgy thingies. Whoop. I'm sorry, I'm still learning how to use this camera and it's still not focusing for me. Corner edgers for journals. And I got all this stuff I got on Amazon. And actually no, I got these on eBay and they were pretty cheap. I was pretty excited about that. But I'm always looking. Binder clips and I got in here the Tim Holtz paper clips and garment clips. So yeah, that's just basically my storage for my metal things. Back there, hidden away, are my fabric scissors that if anyone touches, penalty is, I don't know, but I'll think of something. They know they're not allowed to touch my fabric scissors. Now this here for my washi is from another tutorial from Coupon to Provide on YouTube. It's called her washi holder. I mean, she has a couple different tutorials for washi holders. I couldn't find the she had one that she used acrylic containers and I couldn't find them, so I just made this one and I was perfectly happy. It's all made out of chipboard and stuff, and it was fun and easy to make. I really liked it making it. Now this, if you remember when I did my before video, this was sitting right here on my desk. It was a store display that they were throwing away, and I asked them if I could have it for free, and they said, sure, we're just going to throw it away anyway. So right now I've got all my duct tape hanging on it, and this is just a repurposed Kleenex box with my ribbon in it, but I'm going to put shelves here and here so I have even more storage. This here, I got this at a thrift shop too, probably for $5 I think. But this is where I keep all my sewing machine tools. I got like screwdrivers and stuff and pins and my sewing machine needles. And down here I've got grommets and chalk. I just love that. That is so cute. I love little drawer things. I can't get enough of them. This was also a really cool thrift shop find. It's a little purse and it's top heavy, so it falls over whenever I try to open it. But right now I'm just keeping all my glitters from the Target dollar spot in there because they fit and I can use it. I love that. Okay, so and then up there I've got paper clips and thread. When I was making fedoras all the time, I hung my elastic up here so the cats wouldn't get it, and they would just chew pieces off and play with them. I actually had a spool of white elastic up here too, and they got it all. But anyway, here's my Harbor Freight turnstile that hubby just got for me a couple weeks ago. Right now, I'm keeping my stamps on them because I don't have a lot of stamps. I don't really have anywhere to put them. This was the other glass container for that condiment thingy. So I got like pearl cotton and some ribbons I didn't have space for, and markers I mean, mostly it's just stamps. This is a container with washi and stuff that I'm using on a current project. Down here I've got my crocodile, my corner chomper, and then tools for jewelry and gigantic X-Acto knives and sandpaper and tin cutters, just tools and stuff. But yeah, I really like that. Okay, and then again here got my sewing boxes. That basket is full of fabric because I make purses and fedoras and all sorts of stuff that I used to sell on Etsy. So that's all my project fabric. This is a box with some die cuts and my flat stamps and some of my what do you call them, embossing folders and stuff. That is just a file folder. Actually, I use it for seasonal ephemera and stuff, and my son's homeschool records. And then that's where all my thread went for now. Some of it went into my Bernina sewing boxes too. I have wonderful wall yarn holder or thread holders, but I don't have any wall space. I was going to put it up back here, and I decided I didn't want to forego the wall space, so I just put them in one of these containers. This is another thrift shop find, and I'm going to recover it. And all this stuff inside it is more stuff I found in the thrift shop, but yeah. That's really cool. That could be my travel box. Have craft will travel. Magazines. I got pocket pages because I want to start making pocket pages mail thingies. Treasure. Down here I keep my cutting boards, my mats, my what do you call it, thingy. They fit real nice in there. And here is the organized cubicle shelves. Don't mind the drill. Hubby hasn't put it away yet. There's my big shot up there and my big book for my sewing machine. Cross-stitch sampler I'm working on. So I'm going to try and keep this fairly level because the last video I shot it was shaky all over. So there's glue and seed beads, and I use a lot of baskets for projects and stuff that's got yarn in it and other things. This is a project I'm making my son a chain chomp hat. So that's the yarn. I'm also actually making him a Mario blanket. So that's the yarn for that project. Here's a bag I was working on that I never finished. Pretty. This is some of my cross-stitch stuff, and underneath it I have floss and my pattern holders and stuff. This is a quilt UFO that I actually forgot what pattern it is. It's been so long. And that is, oh, that's homeschool stuff. Never mind. Here we have each of those bins is a quilt project. And then this bin has stuff like batting and soft and stable for the purses and bags that I would make and stuff. Here, there's old books that I've collected from thrift shops and stuff to repurpose. And I mean, there's just a bunch of different stuff in here. My laminating sheets, coloring books, manila envelopes, more coloring books, my sheet protectors, just stuff. Magazines, and another container full of stuff. This is one of the crochet baskets I've made, and that's got a project in it right now. And another Kleenex box. See, I use a lot of Kleenex boxes, but they're so convenient. And that's just a huge, gigantic spool of lace. We live in Amish country, and there's a store called Zinks in Berlin, and it's like this huge fabric store. That huge thing of lace there cost me $4. Yes, $4. And this is just stuff that I haven't put away yet, or Happy Mail and stuff that I'm still going through. Okay. This is magazines that have to be sorted and reorganized. Don't worry about that one. This is fabrics that I have pulled out for projects, for journaling and for dories. And I just got a big bunch of burlap from fabric.com, so I'm looking forward to using that. This is, I've got projects and stuff, ephemera to cut out, pads. Back there's more books for making into journals, repurposing. And down here is my containers of beads and brads and just cool stuff I've collected. Here, I'll show you this. This is really cool. I found this at a thrift shop. It's just a little set of stationery. Oh, and I found these postcards. Look at these. These are from like 1900. That one doesn't have a date on it, but most of them are from the early 1900s. Isn't it gorgeous? Come on, camera, focus. Just the cutest postcards. Yeah. I love going thrifting. Okay, anyway, back to here. These are a lot of my beads and stuff for jewelry making, or in my case, a tassel or charm hanger thingy making. Down here in this section are quilt tops that I need to quilt. There's like 4 quilts there. In here I've got a lot about my eyelash lace, and I've got tons of trims. I used to be in the Society for Creative Anachronism, which is a medieval recreation group, and I had tons. I would make my own medieval clothes and for my kids too, and so I have tons and tons of trims. Like, look at this one. Come on. Isn't that cool? So I hope to use them. That was actually homemade by somebody in our group. They made it for me for Christmas. Isn't that pretty? So yeah, I have a lot of trims that I hope to incorporate into my journals. And there's just a lot of yarn and fabric, as usual. Story of my life. Down here is my Zutter, and those are all my rings, and these are this box. Starbucks box is just all my Zutter tools. My son works for Starbucks. He's always getting me really cool stuff, mugs and stuff. This, almost all of this is thrift shop finds, lace, and well, some of it I did get on Amazon or eBay. Sari silk, laces and doilies and stuff, and this whole box is full of laces and doilies and ribbons and really cool stuff. And this is just a box of sequins. And my hole puncher. And that's just some ephemera that I put aside for a project. Up here, more baskets. I love, 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 love baskets. That's just holding junk. I don't know. Buttons. Lots of buttons that I got at a garage sale. And this little basket's holding all my flowers. Get out of my way. And stuff. And then I've got my big crocodile. These are journals I'm currently working on. This is more of an album that I got the pattern for it from JenofEve Designs. I have all her patterns. I love making her stuff, but that's an album. This is a junk journal I'm working on. I've got all these flags on it because there's so many pages. I don't want to have to keep counting the pages if I want to reference what I'm looking for, so I just put tags every 20 pages. But yeah, this is going to be so cute. It's going to be really hard to sell that one. And then I've got another one back here that I'm working on. Look at that paper. It's so gorgeous. And I distress the edges with my Tim Holtz distressor. And then this one here, I just started recently. This one I'm going to keep, I think. But yeah, look at the cover, and I've got the burlap on it. And it's an envelope journal, so I have too many envelopes in it, and by the time I get them all decorated and stuff, I think it's probably going to be open like this much. But yeah, I've started working on it. So I followed, see, I have like 3 signatures, but it didn't work out. I did it a different way of a video I was watching, and I regret doing it that way, but there's nothing I can do about it now, so I'm just going to keep it and work with it. But I like it anyway, so. But yeah, this is a journal I made. This is another JenofEve design. And, isn't it cute? It's got pockets and ephemera and all sorts of stuff. This is like a journal album. Belly bands, my tea-dyed, coffee-dyed paper. I'm probably going to list this one on my Etsy shop. I'm not sure yet, but again, it's going to be hard to give it up. Look at this. I love Genevieve's patterns. A little file folder, and I made it into a little book. But yeah, that's another thing. This one, I would say this is almost done. But I have to go through, probably just add things like paper clips and just little cutesy things to make it more interesting. Look at this. Look at this. This is so cute. Look at that little envelope. And it's even got, if I can get it out with one hand, a teeny tiny little letter in it. Isn't that the cutest? I love her stuff. Alright, I'll put that away later. But yeah, so this one, I did a Coptic stitch for the binding, and I was really proud of how it turned out. but I put way too many signatures in this. So, I mean, that's how it closes before using it. So, I don't know. We'll see if anyone's interested in a big, fat, fluffy journal, but it's so pretty. I really like this, and we'll see. Okay, so, well, those were my journals I'm working on. Okay. Ta-da. Alright, up here, this is all my pen pal stuff, my box of envelopes and stationery, and this is where I keep all my stuff from my pen pals right now, before I run out of room. Up here, I've got my 8x8, 6x6, 4x6, 3x, and it goes down and down and down. Paper pads. Another box of ephemera and stuff. Most of that's Christmas and Thanksgiving. Now, you know me, I love baskets. I also like to collect anything like these apple baskets that I get from local orchards in the fall when we get apples, and then I clean them out and I use them for sewing stuff. Like that one is full of zippers. That place I told you about, Zinks in Berlin, zippers, cheap. They're like 5 cents a piece. So I get those for my bags that I make and stuff. Here, these are all templates and instructions of JenofEve Designs, different albums and stuff. I have all of her stuff. I love her stuff. Haven't made it all yet, but I have all the patterns. And then this is a binder with quilt patterns that would take me 10 lifetimes to make, but someday, who knows. Okay, this is all my Tim Holtz and Seven Gypsies doodads and what do you call them? Stuff, shiny things. These are some flowish journals that my good friend sent me, and then this was my old bullet journal, and then I keep pen pal stuff in there too. This is my cubicle of button jars. I've always collected buttons my whole life. A lot of these button jars I got from Free Cycle. Somebody was just giving them away. Down here, this one and this one. These are some of my fedoras I've made, and these are my... Oh, here's another foot. This is my teeny tiny fedora. I don't think I have a notebook in it right now. And then here's another one I made. I think this one is personal size. Or it might be passport size. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, those are some of my fedora covers I've made. And then traveler's notebook covers that I've bought online. Down here, little jars with corks. I love them. This is just ephemera that I've downloaded off the internet, and I've cut out, you know, from free sites and stuff. So I have them sorted in some sort of organized way. I'm not really sure. And Prima flowers. This is where I store all my extra stuff, my paintbrushes and my sequin tape and glue sticks, and I think this is glue sticks too. Yep, glue sticks, and just all sorts of supplies, ink, glue sticks, shiny stuff, I don't know. And then down here, this is just, I just shoved some stuff in here because I wanted it to look neat in here. Okay, that is my cubicle shelves. I hope I'm not being too shaky with the camera, I'm trying to keep it as straight and not move very quickly. This is a curtain that I made a couple years back. The other one is over there. They used to be in my big craft room that I once had, and right now this is the master bedroom off, or the master bath off the bedroom, and there were no doors on it, so I just put my curtains there. Isn't that cute? Okay, last but not least, this is my whatever drawer, and then I keep labels for the stuff that I sell on Etsy, and just, I don't know, stuff. And then these drawers, it's all fabric. I would take leftovers after a project and cut them into strips or blocks, you know, by certain sizes. So like if I'm working on a project, I could say, oh, I need a 8-inch long strip of orange or pink or something, and I could come and see what I have in here. Or like this one, 4.5-inch squares, you know. And then I just throw all my fabric scraps in here too from projects. So I have a lot of strips and blocks that I keep in here. Excuse me, sorry. And then this is just leftovers from projects. More, those are skinny strips. Yeah. That is, it had a plan sometime, but it was completely forgotten. I've got cross-stitch stuff in here, and Ida cloth, and some project. I have a lot of UFOs that I need to finish, and then this is just old stuff, interfacing. This is part of a grandmother's flower garden quilt that my ex-husband's great aunt was making by hand in the 1930s. When she died, the family was going to throw this out. I've got more here, and then I've got bags full of hexes already cut out. But the family was going to throw it out. I'm like, what? No! And that was before I even started quilting. This is what actually launched me into quilting. So someday I'm going to finish this for her. She was a sweet, sweet lady. And then down here, I don't know, just scraps and big things of fabric. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been sewing. I haven't really sewn much since we moved from our last house. Okay, so, ta-da! That is my tiny craft space. Now, granted, it's not, you know, tiny, tiny, tiny. I mean, some people have to contend with little closets or one table or whatever. So I consider myself fortunate that I have this much space. I have a husband that's willing to modify things to make it work for me, and we work good together on modifying things. And, you know, once I moved these over here, I ended up with a really nice size workspace. And even when I put my sewing machine in here and I'm sewing, if like I'm working on a quilt or anything, I have more space for whatever I'm working on, blankets or whatever, to go behind me, because before everything came up to here. So I only had this, you know, the machine would be here and I'd have this much space, and it wasn't fun. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope I didn't make you seasick. As I'm saying that, I'm moving really fast, and there are cats fighting outside my window right now. My next project is definitely going to be my fabric hutch. Now, there's on the bottom here, it's all huge pieces of fabric, and then I've got a couple baskets, and that's all mostly like fat quarters or little bigger pieces, half yard pieces. But this is like 1/4 of my fabric. I've got, I think, 8 big bins and boxes of fabric stored in our Winnebago right now of all my big pieces of fabric, because there's just nowhere to put it in here. My closet is another project that's going to be happening real soon. I've got garbage bag after garbage bag after garbage bag of my yarn in there, and that's what those containers are for. All my yarn's going to go in there, and then it's going to go in the Winnebago. But I mean, it's just a wreck. So considering this is what my craft space used to look like, I'm feeling pretty positive that we'll make something good out of this. And I gotta figure out how to organize these fabrics better. I mean, I have them all sorted by color mostly. And like, this is a big bin of a quilt that I was working on, that I have to remember which one it was because I have so many UFOs. It was a Christmas quilt, I know that. Oh yeah, here's some of the blocks. But yeah, I've got all these baskets and baskets of patterns and fabric, and there's all my blues and purples, and up there baskets of yarn and boxes of yarn. So yeah, I used to have a really huge craft room. Really huge. Like, I think it was 14 by 20 or something like that. So when we moved, that's what I missed the most. That and my big kitchen. Okay guys, that's it. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe, and I'll be making more crafty videos, and we will also have a channel for our homestead that we're building, so you could follow along with that. I'm going to be doing cooking videos and gardening and anything related to homesteading as well as crafting. So I hope you come along with us. Thanks for watching. Bye.